And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more informed as a consumer out there. ConsumerQB.com is the site. And make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, all the major sites. You also have our Spotify and iTunes. You can find our show there, the podcast, as well as our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate that. Great lineup for you today. Tech expert Nate Ginter. He's going to talk about Black Friday and how to avoid some of the issues happening online. FTX, the crypto scandal with FTX and Office 365. Brandon Faust, Mold Solutions USA. Just found out one of our friends, actually a mutual friend there, had a lot of mold in their home, so he was able to come in and help them diagnose it and going to treat it. So mold can be a silent killer. Brandon Faust, Mold Solutions USA. Attorney Frank Miranda coming on, litigator here in Tampa Bay, real estate attorney as well, and owns a title company and has a great staff. Stephanie Rosario over there is awesome. His management. Great office. Frank Miranda here coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel-good story of the day. We always like to tell you something good in our feel-good story. So best friends win $1 million lottery and spread the wealth in hometown to help others. Feel-good story coming up. And like we always do, we like to feature our real estate listings live on air and help you sell faster for more money by utilizing our radio TV show reach, 80 different outlets worldwide, and our innovations with radio, TV, and internet marketing. 2817 Gulf City Road in Ruskin. This is a beautiful opportunity. Developer. Where are my developers? Where are my builders at? 2817 Gulf City Road. This is 23 acres on the water, Little Manatee River, access to the Gulf of Mexico, direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. Can be subdivided into multiple lots. Great ROI opportunity. We got a motivated seller here as well. Prime waterfront development for sale. 2817 Gulf City Road, Ruskin, Florida. It's one of our hot, beautiful real estate listings here in Tampa Bay. 6361 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. Commercial property. This is a commercial asset, corner lot location, almost an acre of land, and you've got about 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by a major thoroughfare on Highway 301. Office building, corner lot, fenced in. Great opportunity. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Frank Miranda, welcome back, sir.
Brandon, how you been?
Doing good, man. Staying busy.
How the kids?
Oh, doing awesome. Yeah, getting little Brady's up, getting closer, running around. He's running around those little I don't know what you call them, little thing where the feet dangle and they can they're in between crawling
it's like
and walking.
The fit car, and you kind of walk wherever you want to walk, and it holds you up.
Yeah, and he bumps into everything.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I remember those days.
Yeah, a lot of fun, man. And you're in? Everything good?
I can't complain. We're not being shot at in Ukraine, so everything's pretty good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Things could be a lot worse.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so when you think things are going bad in your life, you can always look around and find some things in situations that are a lot worse than what you're in.
Absolutely, lots to be thankful for.
Very blessed. Thanksgiving.
That's right. Right
Time
here,
to be thankful.
Right here in Tampa Bay, man. Great place to live, work, and play. And on the real estate side, so you got a real estate title company doing a lot of closings over there, closing folks on the title side, and you also have a you're a litigator. That's a difference between you and a lot of attorneys. Some attorneys don't go into the courthouse. You do.
Yes, last week I was thinking about it. I was in a mediation. I had to finish a trial yesterday via Zoom out of Miami, and have 2 mediations coming up, I think, right after Thanksgiving. So I've been very, very busy the month of November.
Still doing a good percentage of your cases online via Zoom or whatnot?
I think it depends on if it's a motion type of situation, and if it's under an hour. I think most judges are going to say that's fine to do it by Zoom. The Miami judge in this situation was a non-jury trial. He's just going to hear it by himself anyway. We had already stipulated as to what exhibits and what the evidence was going to be at trial, so that was all prearranged, so there was no need to exchange documentation there, and it was all electronic. And so it was just as easy to do it via Zoom. So to answer your question, Most of the time, it's going to be via Zoom. If you want a jury trial, obviously you're going down to the courthouse and selecting your jury and presenting your case to the jury.
Really cool Netflix thing I just watched. It was called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? Have you seen that yet or heard about that yet?
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. What is it?
Oh, it's hilarious, man. This guy, so it's this young kid. So I guess back in the 90s, Pepsi, it was the Cola Wars, Coke versus Pepsi, right? So this gentleman, this young kid, he was 20-year-old. He went to like one of his older friends that he they were climbing mountains all over the world. They were climbing Everest and all these different mountains. But Pepsi ran a commercial. They came out with this marketing play where, hey, collect these points. You can turn it in for a T-shirt, a leather jacket, maybe a duffel bag with Pepsi logos on it. So it's a win-win for them. But at the end, they have this Harrier jet come in and it lands, and it says Harrier jet, 7 million points, and there was no disclaimer. And he's like, "There's no disclaimer on this." So he got his opinion from his friend. His friend's like, "Hey, show me a business plan. Put a business plan together. Show it to me." So there's like, okay, how many bottles of Pepsi Cola would I have to buy? How many cans of Coke, Pepsi would I have to buy? And so they did the math, and it was a pretty high number, but they were going to go for it. They're like, yeah, hey, it's less than the $32 million that a Harrier jet would actually cost. And then it came into legal questions. Can you legally own a jet? All these different things. So everything checked out. And then he was actually reading the catalog that they would put on display in the grocery stores. And at the end it says you can buy a point for 10 cents. So then they did the math, and they're like, what? This is a lot less money than we thought it was going to be. $700,000 worth of these points, and they could technically file it with Pepsi and say, hey, where's my jet? And that's what they did. And it was amazing. I mean, just the legal that went back and forth.
I was just going to ask the question. How did it end up?
How did it end, right? So it goes to New York. They preempted his claim. They filed first, right? Because I think that's a legal strategy sometimes, right? Let's file first. Let's throw that jab out there first and kind of sucker punch. So they had the venue in New York where they wanted it. Ended up going to a bench trial, and that's what made me think of it, because I was thinking bench trial versus jury.
Right.
And they said, hey, if we have a jury, the jury's going to see it our way. Hey, they made a claim. And this ad was marketed towards kids. All the people in the commercial were kids, because the joke was, oh, this beats riding the bus to school, coming in a Harrier jet. So anyways, long story short, the judge ruled that no, it wasn't an actual claim. It would be deemed outside of the ordinary.
It wasn't an offer, right?
Yeah, it wasn't an actual offer. So, but now it's in the actual textbooks for law school. Yeah, it's in
what year was that?
School. It was, this happened probably 04, something like that.
I hate to say this, but 25 years ago for me. So I guess that's the case within the last 25 years.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's but I just thought, man, that's it. There's a lot of things that come to mind about that. Here's the kid going after.
That's creative.
Yeah, he's going after it, and they went and sat down. They actually offered him before it went to trial. They offered him it was $1 million.
Take it.
He didn't.
Take it, kid.
He said, no, I want to go for the jet. He went for the jet. He's like, Pepsi, where's my jet?
See, when you come to those decisions, and it has nothing to do. Well, it does have to do with the case, because you're talking about strategy, right? So you want to talk about like football and quarterback show. And do we want to blitz a lot this team? Do you want to sit back in zone? Do we want to play man? How are we going to play our defense?
Right.
And so when you think about that on the offensive standard, you think about, hey, that kid probably has a better chance convincing 6 people that are just regular citizens,
right,
to rule his way. The judge, however, when Pepsi was pretty smart in doing what they did, when you go to the judge, it's not so easy.
They're going to be more matter of fact. They're going to be more probably on the side of corporations too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was interesting to see how that line of thinking went, how it went. You also, do you remember the attorney, I think it was Michael Avenatti? He actually served prison time.
I've heard the name.
At some point, he was, somehow they got in touch with him, and he was doing all this research. His thing was research, and he was going to law school at night, and they were young kids at the time. But they went over to the Philippines because they had Manny Pacquiao in the documentary. Very interesting documentary. But they had made some false claims over there too. And the point was on the bottle cap, if you get this bottle cap, you win $1 million, etc. So they were doing all their research, going on talk shows, doing a media blitz, trying to really kind of run down Pepsi in a sense saying, hey, here's what they did in the Philippines, and all these people were upset and they were firebombing some of the trucks and everything. But anyways, I don't have a stake
little
in
disclaimer:
Netflix.
we don't condone the firebombing of any
Yeah,
trucks.
exactly. But I don't have a stake in Netflix either. But I just thought it was a very entertaining strategy to see how the strategy changed over the years, because it was a multi-year event. But yeah, so kind of interesting.
I'll tell you what, when you poke the bear,
right,
you better kill the bear.
Yeah.
And when Pepsi's a big bear.
That's a big bear.
It's a big bear. And
Yeah.
Unlimited resources.
Yeah.
And so you got to weigh those risks.
Yeah, absolutely. And another big bear is these big companies like BlackRock that are buying up single family homes. I mean, bringing it back to real estate, right? Buying up single family homes, competing with first time buyers, competing with veterans.
It's a commodity. It's just all they're doing is trading a commodity. So in essence, what they're doing is I would venture to say this. They're probably going out there overpaying for some houses, right? So think about this for a second.
Like Zillow did.
If they buy 10 houses in a neighborhood and they overpay on 2,
Yeah.
on purpose,
Yeah.
they've just increased the value of the other 8 when they go to sell them, right? So the other 8, they're going to try and get them below value, but then they artificially inflate the value of 2. So when they go sell them, now there's a comparable, and now the other 8 have a higher value. And so overall, they're going to make more
Short
money.
term, yeah. Long, but these guys are hanging on to them for a long time, though, Frank, aren't
Yeah.
they? They're renting them.
Sometimes.
They're probably renting them, putting them in a portfolio,
Just remember something. They don't really make big money until they flip them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to make steady income. But at some point in time, someone's going to come to them and say, maybe we want to buy you guys.
Right.
And so then they have to artificially inflate the value of their whole portfolio to get more money.
Right. And isn't that what happened with the stock market, too, over the years? The stock market has been artificially overinflated with stock buybacks and those types of things. I'm not big on stocks, obviously, but I think that was what some of the people talk about, some of the folks on this Salem station. I've heard Phil's show right before us talking about it.
I'll just say
What's
this.
your take on that?
I'll say this in a hypothetical sense.
Okay.
Let's say you bought Twitter. And let's say that you want to promote a topic and you want to say that you have a large following.
Okay.
And you have influence over those people. So if you influence those people on a given day to buy a certain product,
Right.
you have inflated, for no particular reason, the value of that stock.
Right.
And then you can sell that stock the next morning before
Right.
the wave kind of ends, right?
Yep.
And so even if it goes up $1 or $2, or if it goes up 30 cents and you have 6 million shares, 30
Right.
cents adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you can do things like that. And whether or not that's legal or not, that's beyond my field. But
Yeah.
I certainly know the power of influence in
Right.
how. I mean, what was that store? It was like a toy store or a GameStop. GameStop.
Yeah.
That's all fake.
Yeah.
That's completely fake.
They got together online and
Yeah,
ran
I
it
mean, a
up.
bunch of people online, and there's hundreds of thousands of people online. They go today. We're gonna buy GameStop, and, and the stock goes up for no reason except people are buying it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Let's take a quick break. I want to come back more with Frank Miranda on the other side of this break. Attorney Frank Miranda in the house, local title company, local attorney. He will go to courtrooms. He is a litigator. More with Frank coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taking a quick break. Coming up later, our feel-good story of the day. Best friends win $1 million lottery and spread the wealth in the hometown to help others. We'll be right back.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. We help our sellers profit more and sell faster. 37351 Neighbors Path in Zephyr Hills. This is a beautiful property. Great opportunity to own real estate in Zephyr Hills. And this property is 3,500 square feet, mother-in-law suite. You have an open concept floor plan. 1.2 acres. So if you want to buy some land and have some room to run, you've got some land here at 37351 Neighbors Path, Zephyr Hills, Florida. That's Pasco County. 6 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, stone counters. Beautiful home right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We got a Gulf front opportunity on the beach, 16400 Gulf Boulevard, and this is in North Reddington. And North Reddington, great opportunity. Now, it's a little bit small. It's only 400 square foot. It's a condo. That is a ceramic tile oceanfront property right on the Gulf of Mexico, covered balcony, and you're overlooking the pool and the Gulf of Mexico. Check out the beautiful views, compliments of Fabre Frameworks and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 16400 Gulf Boulevard, North Reddington Beach. Beautiful property in Tampa Bay. Pinellas County beaches, #1 in the world, dolphin-filled waters, and sugar sand beaches. And you can see,
Waters.
yeah,
Sounds delightful.
I know.
Huh?
Wait, I'm selling here, Frank. Come on, man. And it's sunny and 75 a lot of the time.
Yes, it is.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we got Frank Miranda in the house. He's a litigator. He's a real estate attorney here in Tampa Bay. So, a lot of the good stuff happens between the breaks, Frank. We're talking about the stocks and different
I tell you what, though,
manipulations.
I have another good story that we talked about the break before.
Yeah.
The first break. And, I'll tell you this. People are so focused on the interest rates right now, they're missing the fact that they can get a better price.
Right.
Okay, so price matters. Mm-hmm. And so the great example I gave before was, listing price on a piece of property in 2021, $500,000. You had to overpay to get it, and so you paid $600,000 for it.
Yep.
You had a 3% interest rate. Your payment is, roughly $3,100.
Yeah.
2022. Listing price is $500. You might be able to buy it for $485.
Yep.
Okay, now interest rate 7%. You have the same payment.
Yep.
It's the same payment because you borrowed $100,000 less.
Yep.
And then when it goes back down and you refinance, your payment's gonna be less than the guy that bought in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, and I forgot to tell you this. There's a lot of investors that have called my office, and they are coming here with boatloads of money. They don't care how the interest rate's going to be because they think that this is an opportunity to buy.
Right.
They can at least buy it at the asking price or a little bit before. And there's a lot of people from out of state that are coming in here buying these properties for investment properties.
Absolutely.
And so I think if you're local and you're renting and you're paying awful rental amounts.
High rents.
Unbelievable the amount of rents you're paying.
The rents are high.
Forget about the interest rate. Look at the payment and what you can buy something for.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be just as good as you were off in 2021.
Right.
You just have to compare the math. It's that simple. People are so spooked. They're like, "Oh, my payment's going to be higher."
Yeah.
Not necessarily if you're borrowing less money.
Yeah, I keep hearing the same thing on these expired lead calls and canceled calls, and even some of the for sale by owners. I keep hearing the same stuff. They're like, "Oh, the market's not any good. The market went down. The market's bad." And I said, "No, it's not." I said, "If you actually look at the inventory levels, which I do every day, every week, it's 1.5 months supply, 75% absorption rate. So you still got high absorption, low inventory. Mortgage rates are creeping back down a little bit, 6.8% or so. And and the strategy, like you said, is the long term. We were on a call with Gary Keller, billionaire owner of Keller Williams, #1 real estate company on the planet. He says, look, this is going to be about a 2-year event, 2-year downturn. What's going to happen on the 2.5 and the third year? The rates are going to fall again. It's going to be back into that Federal Reserve drop in rates slowly over time. The potential, we're kind of guessing here, but yeah, the idea is it's the payment, it's about the cash flow, and it's about the appreciation. That's the big part people miss, Frank. Now, are you seeing people coming down and buying, hurricane homes and this and that, folks like in Port Charlotte area? Because I've heard those rumors too. People coming in like, hey, I'm going to buy that area and invest.
I don't know about that area because I don't really have a footprint down there, but I could definitely see that happening. I mean, why wouldn't you go down there and buy beachfront at, something which we would think would be absurd for beachfront property, like, even $200,000.
Yeah.
$300,000.
People are moving
$400,000.
out. So some people want to move in. They'll say, look, I'll take that risk.
Yeah, I mean, and then nowadays, you're going to have to build your property, 14 feet off the ground or whatever the regulations are down there. You're going to have to meet current standards. So you're going to have to build to Cat 5.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily. I mean, what was that one house in New Mexico Beach that stood?
Yeah, I know
there
you're
was
talking
one
about
house
Mexico
like 4
Beach.
years ago,
Yep.
and it stood.
Yep,
And
I remember that.
Yeah, the worst thing ever is if it floods, right? Flooding is just, you got to rip everything out. It's terrible. But
Yep.
if you build it high enough, you should still be okay.
Yeah.
And so if someone's willing to do that and go down there, yes, you can seriously I think turn that into an investment opportunity.
Yeah. Now, we just got a couple minutes left here. I want to ask you about the potential for foreclosure activity. What are you seeing in that space? Loan modifications. Are you seeing or hearing anything about the foreclosure boom coming or anything like that?
Yeah. So that was mentioned in my office I think a couple of weeks ago. That had been brought up that the numbers are trickling in a little bit higher. They're coming in higher. For this particular area, I don't see it yet that it's an avalanche. It's certainly nowhere near where it was in 2007, thank God.
Yeah.
This is a different scenario. This is more of a scenario that just happens over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't keep interest rates that low. It's impossible.
Right.
And so it's a natural kind of curve. I think in this area it's not going to be as bad as the others, like Gary Keller had mentioned a 2-year cycle around a nation. I think that's nationwide. Here, it's going to be different. There's too many people coming, even from outside the country. So all that South American money that was heading toward Miami, that built Miami, and that has all these incredible townhomes and whatnot, they feel that area's saturated. They're looking here now.
Right.
They're looking
Absolutely.
here now.
I see that and hear that a lot.
Now, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's certainly good if you own property and you're going to sell it.
That's right. Absolutely. And people are looking at the condo crunch and those different challenges, condo, and that's the different markets within the market, right? Single family homes versus condos and things of that nature. Frank, where do you want folks to find you?
They can give me an email shoot me an email at frank@fcmlaw.com. My website, if they want to look anything up, is www.fcmlaw.com, and my number is 813-254-2637.
Check them out online, folks. fcmlaw.com. Frank Miranda, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's always fun.
Always fun catching up, man. All right, coming up, Brandon Faust, Mold Solutions USA, Nate Ginter, Vine IT on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. And, of course, subscribe at the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Brandon Rhymes Realty. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.